Thank you, Darren, for joining us at HR.com today, and would like to ask you a couple of questions regarding your thoughts on learning organizations.
Sure, fire away.
Maybe before we start, Darren, if you could just let me know your role, where you're located, the company you're with, and a bit of information about yourself.
Sure. Well, I work for GoDaddy. I am based in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've been with them now for 10 months. I am a director of people development for them.
Nice.
Been in the profession though for 23 years now, which makes me feel old. Prior to being at GoDaddy, I was with Avanade, a high-tech company in Seattle, for 10 years. And prior to that, as you might be able to tell from the accent, I was in London, England, focused on training and development.
All righty. Thank you so much, Darren. All right. So first question for you. What are the key characteristics of your organization, GoDaddy at this point, to ensure employees are continuously learning?
Well, I think it's clearly something that all organizations have to pay attention to and also adapt that strategy over time. So I think what we're seeing at GoDaddy right now is a number of initiatives. I think, one is to make sure that learning and development is closely tied to the strategy of the company. Right. So as the company is moving into new markets, or the company is producing new products and services, clearly we want to make sure that learning and development is closely tied to that. I think the second thing is making sure that people know what training is recommended that helps them actually do what is aligned to strategy. And so that means putting together learning and development roadmaps that give, through a single click and single sign-on, access to learning and development resources, internal and external, that allow them to address the need that they have identified.
All right.
And I think if I would pick a third thing, I think I would pick the fact that we are increasing the number of conversations that managers are having with their employees, so that essentially it becomes an ongoing conversation over time around where somebody is in their career, where they want to be, and how that gap can get closed, in part through learning and development. So I think it's a number of initiatives, no one big thing, but lots of different things that we're doing to deal with that.
So maybe on the other end of that would be impact of learning. Maybe you can define to us what that is in the context of your organization.
Yeah, so I think at our organization it's viewed differently by each of the different stakeholders, and my guess is it's the same elsewhere. So I think when we take a look, for example, at senior leadership level, what they're looking for in the company in terms of strategic impact of a training initiative is, does the training do what we set out for it to do? So an example might be, we're going to release a brand new product. We need 500 people to learn how to sell and support that product, and we need them available by a certain date. So we're going to train them. We're going to use tests to make sure they understand it. We're going to get them out on the phones, and then we're going to find out for real whether or not they do actually support the product. Right. So I think from a senior stakeholder perspective, it's very much, are we seeing the results to the bottom line feed through? I think when you take a look instead at the level of others, so for example of the individual manager and also of the individual employee, I think they're looking far more at the ground level of, I have a very specific need, I need to learn X in order to do my job. And so I'm looking to see whether or not I can pick up X quickly so I can get on with my job quickly. So I think different stakeholders, different measures.
Gotcha. Now, maybe you can think about one initiative or a program that you're most proud of that had great impact at GoDaddy.
So I think the one that immediately comes to mind for me has been a new leadership program that we've introduced. It's a multi-month program. We're putting our directors and managers of our customer care center through that at the moment, and then spreading it out wider across the company. But I'm proud of it for a number of reasons. First of all, we spent 2-3 months on needs analysis up front. So we wanted to make sure we fully understood the situation before we even attempted to put individuals through any training initiative. Second of all is that once we did build it, we tied it in closely to the reality that the individuals had. And then the third thing is we made it an 8-month program. So this was a way of saying to individuals that rather than just dipping you into training for 2-3 days and then sending you back to the workforce and we're never going to revisit this again, we turned this into an 8-month program that consists of 3 or 4 in-person training courses. It consists of monthly brown bags, 360s at the beginning and the end of the program, so individuals know where they are and can see at the end what progress they've made. It includes access to external vendors and experts, for example, situational leadership key models like Myers-Briggs. Plus it includes coaching, peer coaching, peer shadowing programs. So I think put all of that together and we're actually able to turn around to a manager or a leader and say, here's a program that really gets you not just up 1 rung in your understanding, but gets you up 2 or 3 by supporting you over a long period of time.
Right. Now, did you create your own measurement for ensuring that there's impact on this program, or did you use an analytics that's already available?
Actually, we've created our own measurement, and what we did for this particular program is we said each individual will be measured in 2 particular ways. So each individual will be measured through a 360 at the beginning and the end, and that 360 is tied to the profiles of their role, of what it is to be a leader at the company. So the individual gets to see how much progress they've made, but then we can also combine that up to give a complete picture. So imagine we're putting right now about 80 people through this in the current cohorts. Each of those are getting feedback in from about 100 people. So that's 800 individuals giving them a perspective on progress. But then we're also saying that each individual also has their own measure. So each individual person going through the program, way back at the beginning of the program, selected 1 behavioral change that they specifically wanted to work on. And so that is something that's been a focus of theirs through the 8 months. So when they get to the end, not only do we get the big picture of how they've changed, we also get a chance for them to see, did I address the 1 big thing that I really wanted to address as part of this? And of course, if each individual person is doing that, we can also combine those together to create a big picture of, if each person just made 1 change, but there's 80 people, that's a significant shift within the company.
Exactly. Now, if we shift a little bit on learning technologies that are available right now or that will be available in the next couple of years, are there any of these learning technologies that are emerging or in existence that you would be leveraging as you progress in these programs?
So I think at the moment, my sense is that GoDaddy as a company is behind the curve on using technology through learning, certainly compared to organizations I've been with before, but it's a gap that we want to close quickly. And I think the main area that I would be looking for us to prioritize in closing is through virtual delivery. Particularly for short periods, so like 2-3 hour events. But using technology that allows us to increase interaction and to go to breakout rooms. We may even stretch that as far as using technology through avatars, where we essentially create a virtual campus. So in my last organization, we did that. We created it in Second Life, and then after Second Life, a number of other providers, and found that to be a highly successful way of getting people into a classroom and teaching them.
Especially in remote environments.
Yeah, and I'm saying my last organization, it was 9,000 employees spread around the world. Very few of them were co-located into the same city or the same building. So it meant that whenever you did an in-person training course, you had to fly people around the country or around the world to get to it. And so we essentially were running 2-3 day virtual classes as a way of saving the cost and the opportunity cost and the travel cost and the time that's involved in people flying places.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Darren. This is wonderful information, and I'm sure our folks at HR.com would be very interested in learning more, and they can always contact you, I'm sure. So,
they most definitely can.
All right. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.
Hey, thanks so much, Robin. Take care.